I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GVM, we're venturing deep into the wild and mysterious beauty of the Florida Everglades with an amazing book called Itchy. And it's written by a terrific author. Her name is Teresa McNulty. In this charming and imaginative tale, a mysterious creature named Itchy lives peacefully among the gators until a little girl discovers her and sets off a chain of unforgettable adventures filled with heart, wonder, and the magic of unexpected friendships. Itchy invites readers of all ages to explore a world where curiosity leads to discovery. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Teresa, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. And I love how you introduced my book. That was lovely.
Well, it's a lovely book. It deserves a lovely intro and description. You've done great work with this. Let me ask you this. Why the Florida Everglades? Why did you decide to set your story there?
Well, when I was young, we lived in New York. And then my
Mhm.
parents, when I was about 11 or 12 years old, moved us to Florida to a it was above Palm Beach, but it was very desolate, orange groves and palm trees and a lot of waterways. And so we lived in what we called the mosquito area. And there was just mosquitoes everywhere. And so you were always itching when you lived in there. And then, so that's why I got it settled there. And then I moved back to New York when I was older and I became a nanny. And I started talking about there were mosquitoes in New York too. And started telling the nanny about Itchy and we were describing different areas and telling different stories and that's how the story began. So
Very, very cool. So tell the folks at home a little bit about Itchy.
well, it starts with my mom was a teacher and she was very wonderful at describing things, and I have all these brothers. I have six brothers, and they would always kick me out and say no playing anymore. So one day I went running to my mom and I said, the boys won't let me play. The boys won't let me play. And she said, look into the flowers over there and you'll see fairies and gnomes and all sorts of things in there. And so I think it was her way of just soothing me for a minute.
Yeah.
but, but I always believed they were in there. So I always started looking at the flowers, and then Itchy became real to me and I started creating this character. So
Ever since you were a little girl, you've kind of been creating the character Itchy in your head based on the stories of fairies and gnomes and other wondrous things that
oh
most people
yeah,
can't see based on your mother's prodding a little bit, right?
yeah. So in the story, she comes alive. She becomes one of the flowers, and she's a little fairy, and she takes the little girl, which is me, I imagine, on this journey through the Everglades into the beautiful Everglades that have tropics and gators and all sorts of things, and she swings from snakes and all sorts of things like that. So
Very, very cool. And the Everglades is an important area for young people to know about because it's an environmentally sensitive area as well. I mean, we
very
have
much so, yeah.
certain breeds of panther there and gators
Still,
and all
still,
kinds of
yeah.
stuff. And some are endangered. So tell us about why you thought it was important to blend environmental themes into your book.
Well, because when I was there, I lived in this beautiful, desolate area, and every day they were tearing down forests and
Mhm.
trees and rebuilt and building condos and things like that. I was lucky that I was in an area where they weren't building, 20 feet skyscrapers on the beach, that they were only allowed to build above 4 and 5 stories, which was very nice. But everything was being built, and we started saying that this place, Palm City, when you cross over the bridge, it just became one huge country club, just a country club next to another country club. And I said, you just need a key to get into Palm Beach and Palm City, and then you can get into all these country clubs because they used to just be cow pastures and orange groves and beautiful places like that and waterways. And it's still beautiful, but they definitely were rebuilding it all. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida is certainly changing. If there's a strip of grass left, there's a
True.
condo built on it, or a strip mall, or a shopping center, or something like that.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
incredible. I mean, just the rapid amount of growth that's taking place there is tough on the environment. And so it's good that you highlight that in your
The
book for
manatees
sure.
were not getting enough vegetation because they're making so many seawalls, and they eat the vegetation on the side of the river. And so
Mm.
that was happening, and people were just not being kind to it. So.
Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about the illustrations in the book.
So the illustrations are not mine. They were done, I don't know who did the illustrations. When I was publishing it, they were sending pictures, and I want to say it was AI, but I'm not really sure. I wish it was my drawings, but unfortunately it was not.
Well, they're beautiful and they help bring the story to life. So
Yeah.
that's great. Now, I know you've got a unique background, education and also writing. You have an interest, it seems, in filmmaking as well. So I've got to
Yes.
ask you, have you envisioned this as a film? I
Yes.
think it'd be a
Yes, I have.
beautiful children's film, right?
I think so too. There's another part to it. It gets a little bit more involved, and I haven't written it yet. But it'd be wonderful to make this into a actual film,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think about that all the time. I mean, that's my vision.
Yeah, exactly. With beautiful orchestrations and wonderful cinematography or animation or whatever it might be. I think that would be great. And I think children today don't know enough about fairies and gnomes and little creatures that are playing on the lawn that we can't see right at sunrise or dusk. I mean, my dad talked to me about that
Oh,
kind of stuff
good.
when I was growing up, and including purple people eaters, scary stuff too. But we had this great time of just sitting around and talking about what was in the sky or what was in the land or what was down by the sound. And today, kids are just, on their iPads going
Yeah,
like
seeing
this.
it all created there. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's to
They're not
use your
using
sense, feel that sense of wonder, I think is important, right?
wonder and imagination and creating your own world and things like that. Yeah, I think that's very important too. Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt. What age group did you have in mind when you were writing Itchy?
Well, I teach, and I teach 3-year-olds to 11. I'm
Mhm.
an elementary theater teacher, so here in
Hmm.
Los Angeles, so it's super fun to teach what I teach. And so I was thinking more of like second-year-olds because the language, the vocabulary, second graders, I mean, the language, the vocabulary is a little for them.
Right.
And I think that the parents could read it to their children too, though. That's the other thing. So that's the only thing. So
Absolutely. Yep. So for
okay.
us, for a child to read it by his or herself, maybe second grade or so.
We're
And
older.
of course, I think it'd be a great story for a parent to read to the child and get them immersed in that world. Particularly at bedtime, they could have dreams about Itchy and
Oh, I love
uh,
that idea. Thank
yeah,
you.
I think that would be great. Talk to us about the gators in the book. And certainly in Florida, gators are kind of feared and kind of ubiquitous
Gators,
at the
go
same
Gators.
time.
um, well, so she uses the gators to hop over like stepping stones when she's running through the woods. She's chasing Itchy. There's the little girl is chasing after Itchy through the woods and through the Everglades, I mean, and she's hopping over the stepping stones and she's finding different areas. And then she sees, trash and stuff like that that's very disturbing to her.
Mm.
And Itchy is a powerful fairy, and she uses her magic to get the whole switch it all back to where it was beautiful once again. And then she wakes up and she doesn't remember how she got where she got or what she was doing, but the mother wakes her up. The mother tells her that night to go look some more. And then she goes into the woods and sees the plows taking all the woods down and everything. And she calls all the animals from the forest to do that too. So, but the gators are definitely part of Florida for sure. I saw a lot of gators in my lifetime.
Fortunately, every time I've been down in Florida, I have not seen a gator.
Haven't? There.
Never, never. So I've been lucky. I've been lucky. I don't want to see one, with all the crazy stories of people.
If you ever go to Cape Kennedy, it used to be
Yeah.
Kennedy,
Yeah.
there's a long stretch of land and there's gators lying on the ground
Yeah.
all
I
over the
think
place.
I'm
Don't
gonna
get out of
pass
your
on
car
that.
and go to the.
I see enough YouTube videos of people getting their dogs grabbed and all this
Yes.
stuff.
Oh my
So
gosh. Oh my gosh.
I don't, I'll steer clear of that. I'm glad they're there. I'm glad they're thriving, but I'll steer clear. Let's talk a little bit about your sequel. Where do you see the adventures going?
Well, it gets a little bit more involved. We get her name and her brothers start following the little girl who her name is Gracie, and they start following her and finding out her adventures, and the adventures are real. And then Itchy has favorite mosquitoes and favorite animals, and they start polluting the air with um, not with pollution, but with mosquito repellent.
Hmm.
So they kill her repellents. They kill her
Mm.
favorite mosquitoes, and she's very upset about that. And and then all the children start to fight back against the parents or the people trying to get the construction happening and all that stuff. So
Well, that sounds great. I mean, I think if we could use fewer pesticides and get less
yeah,
construction done, I think that'd be wonderful. I know people need
living
housing.
somewhere. Yeah, they
All
need.
have to live in the same place.
Yeah,
I mean, you got LA jam-packed, New York City jam-packed. You got this vast country that's gorgeous and often largely empty. Let's start building there some nice homes for people. I think that
yeah.
would be a great idea. Well, this book is terrific. It sets forth in our heads a lot of great ideas about environmentalism and about pure imagination, adventure, and fantasy. And I think that is a wonderful combination. The name of the book is Itchy. It is a heartwarming and adventurous journey into the Florida Everglades. It celebrates curiosity, courage, and connection. Teresa, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to talk with you today.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for GBN. So long for now.